on eliminating positions or reclassifying positions in the IT department. Because the Parks and Recs department is a codified ordinance that actually addresses the staffing of that department, it requires board action before I'm able to make any budgetary changes. So this is why you're hearing a discussion about Parks and Recreation. The determination in regards to the IT department has already been made through the budgetary process and through the powers that I have as village manager, because it's not codified. So that's why we're not discussing IT, we're discussing specifically Parks and Recreation right now.
And there's no department?
That's correct.
Okay, for IT.
That's correct.
Okay, all right. All right, any others? Roll call.
Both sides.
Trustee Lewis. Aye. Trustee Brooks.
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen.
Both sides.
Trustee Tate.
Aye.
Trustee Oscar
Nay.
Mayor Tubbs.
Aye.
Passed. Mayor, the ordinance numbers 02018-23.
2-3.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Motion to approve expenditures for scholarship funds 2018. At this time, I'll bring Ms. Donna Detmer. Speak on that. This is a wonderful thing.
Thank you very much. You probably know this, but it was 30 years ago this summer that the board at that time passed a resolution forming the Educational Advisory Scholarship Fund, and I was appointed the chairperson. So I've been chairperson for 30 years now. And we gave our first set of scholarships, was 3 scholarships, in 1989 in May. So this will be our 29th year of presenting scholarships. This year we are going to be giving 8 scholarships. It's down. Normally, sometimes we even give up to 12 or more, but we didn't have the people applying. I would like to thank Cecilia Kelly for her help with the Village Hall, and also Village Manager Pate because we always need to have all the documents that I bring up to date, Xerox and everything by the Village Hall, and then they take in money and that type of a thing. I also want to thank our sponsors. We do ask that people donate any amount of money, but those that donate $500 or more, which is a whole scholarship because we give $500 scholarships, then their names are recognized. So I want to recognize those companies that did that for us. This is our second year that Dot Foods has donated this year, and last year they donated $1,000, which is 2 scholarships. Bimba Manufacturing has been one of our companies that has been giving money to us almost all 30 years, just about. And that is another $1,000 scholarship they gave. Federal Signal Corporation gave $500, Aqua Illinois $500, Homewood Disposal Company $500, Avatar Corporation $500, National Tube $500. One of the things that there are people that give smaller amounts, and if needed, then they are combined with each other to give whole scholarships. We also have money that in the past that I've had people over-donated, which has been a long time ago, but we have built up a nice fund in our savings account that if for some reason I didn't get $4,000 donated this year, then I would have gone, still given everybody a scholarship, and we've just gone into that savings fund. What I would like to talk about, again, I think with Mr. Pate and the mayor, is that I think that, we started this 30 years ago, and $500 was a pretty good sizable amount of money. And we do have a sizable savings account. I think I have about $100,000 in that account. And I really would like to get hold of that resolution from 1988.
Okay.
And I would also like to then look at it and then maybe bring it back to the board and change the amount of the scholarships being given from $500 to $1,000 each.
No problem.
And that, even if we're not getting as much from the community, then we'll just delve further into our savings fund on that. But that's my plan I'd like to do for next year. But I would like to thank the board for their support over the years. They basically, you guys pay for the paper and the postage, and I, do most of the work and getting everything coordinated together, send out letters to all the corporations asking for funding, but if we didn't work together, it wouldn't get done. And so I do appreciate everybody's help with this. Thank you very much.
Donna, I would like to acknowledge you because all of the work you've done over the years and sponsoring this and coordinating, it's been a wonderful deal. I can tell you my family has benefited. My daughter, 4 years in Champaign, 4 years in Champaign, and then 2 years at Governor State with the master's degree. So your organization has put together a decent scholarship program, and I think more businesses should participate. Are we up or down with our participation with the businesses in industrial park?
We are down. We went down several years ago when they passed a head tax on the corporations. I had several letters at that time from the corporation saying that, I'm sorry, we cannot give to you again because we now have to pay a head tax.
Right.
And then the other thing is this, is that we had an attorney's firm that every year the attorney himself gave $500 apiece, and his firm then gave another $1,000 to $2,000 every year. So now you're looking at $5,000 in scholarships that I don't get now, or 5 scholarships I don't get now. And I send letters to the attorney firms, and I get no answers back. And I think we pay a heck of a lot of money out in attorney fees that I really think that every board member here should be talking to your lawyer, and you should be encouraging them to donate.
Especially the one we paid $1 million to.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like all the lawyers are making money, but I just want a little bit back. I don't want much. I just want help with my kids.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank
And
you.
Donna, thank you also. Last year, you and I gave the awards with at Pequot High School. And to let you know, it's another reason why Donna does this. It's really interesting that during the ceremony, when you go there, if you participate, University Park is not acknowledged. So that's why Donna actually started it, because our children were not getting any scholarships. But now we stood there and we gave University Park students scholarships. So I want to applaud her for what she does. Thank you. Okay. A motion? Moved by Trustee Wilson, second by Trustee Williams. Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams?
Both sides.
Trustee Wilson? Aye. Trustee Brooks?
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen?
Both sides.
Trustee Tate?
Aye.
Trustee Alfred Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Tucker?
Aye, and that resolution update will be on the next agenda, Donna. I'll let you know, thank you. F2G, first, second, and third reading ordinance of the Village in University Park, Willoughby County, Illinois, granting variation to Chapter 1272 of its zoning code regarding signs in Village B3, Commercial District 450, Cicero Avenue. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Brooks, second. Second by Trustee McMullen. Questions, concerns, comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Both sides.
Trustee Wilson? Aye. Trustee Brooks?
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen?
Both sides.
Trustee Tate?
Aye.
Trustee Alfred Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Tucker?
Vote aye.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
The ordinance number is 02018-2.
Support, thank you very much. Another bright-eyed and happy thing, F2H, appointments. And I must say that I am so happy and loving this board for bringing back our committees. And I'm just letting you know, when I made mention of the committees coming back to the village, it's overwhelming for the volunteers in this village that want to participate in their village and work together with the village to make things happen. And I have a special treat tonight, 2 appointments. Human Services Special Events Committee, Lolita Perkins and Carrie Boykin. Cable Information Technology Committee, Deborah Taylor, Robert Travis, Warren Hunter, Kevin Green, Anthony Jordan, Austin. Finance Committee, Lakeisha Childers. Economic Development Committee, Deborah Orr, Ashley Nicole at Austin, Antonio Toles. Towns, Public Service and Utility Committee, Gregory Austin and David Childers. Is there a motion? Moved by trustee Brooks, second by trustee McMullen. Questions, concerns, comments? Yes.
It says terms will expire December 31st with question marks. Do we know the date?
We have to go to the clerk on it because she has to file at home. That's why I couldn't. Okay. My comments, I would ask that the Austin family come up to the podium, please. Could we get a round of applause for these three young people in University Park, please? Right now, I'd ask the sister first to make a comment. I would like to know, would you give a little background of what happened? I attended an event that she had in her home family this weekend, and it was phenomenal. And we met at Walgreens, and I talked to her mom, and she was fabulous. But these children are phenomenal. And I'll start with you first.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley Austin. I recently obtained my master's degree at Olivet Nazarene University in Burbank. My degree is in organizational leadership. Prior to me obtaining my master's, I received my bachelor's degree at Bradley University in family and consumer science. My brothers and I reside in University Park for 2 years, and we are excited to be, just to be youth, empowered and inspiring other youth, just to be involved in the community. So these are my two brothers. I am the oldest. I am the oldest, and this is my older brother, and then this is my younger brother. But I'll let them introduce themselves.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Greg Austin Jr. I got my BA in art at Millikan University, and right now I'm studying at Governor State, getting my master's in independent film and digital imaging, more so digital imaging, but it's a film degree, and I'm happy to be a part of the committee.
Would you tell us what you did as well? You're working with Governor State with Keisha and Ms. Yvette Brown and the
That's actually
documentary.
my brother.
That's oh, I'm sorry, I've got a yellow picture. That's you, I'm sorry. Okay, the twin.
My name is Anthony Austin. I'm the youngest. I'm 22 years old. I just graduated from Governor State University Saturday, May 19th. It was at the Tinley Park Convention Center. I received my bachelor's degree in human communication, but I had the luxury of working in the media department.
That's right.
I started with the sports broadcasting internship that just started at Governor State, and I did a pretty good job. That was my first time working on the camera, so they brought me on full time. I met Professor Yvette Brown,
Yes.
Professor James, Mark Kuhnler, Joshua Young, Uriah Berryhill, Keisha Dyson. She works in marketing now, and I really made a name for myself. You guys can ask them all about me. I'm excited to be here. I really just want to make, a positive difference, a positive change in this negative generation that we live in. And in order to, get certain stuff done, we all got to work collectively as a team. We're not always going to agree on each other, but in order to lead, you must follow. So I'm just ready to follow the leader and make a positive difference, like I just said. So thank you all.
And your documentary?
Thanks so much. I just released a documentary. If you want the link, I can send it to you guys. I did a documentary on a men's basketball team. They won a CCAC conference tournament, and they went to nationals, and they just started the basketball program, I believe, 2 to 3 years ago. So I released a documentary. It's going into a film festival at the school. I believe the dates are September 15th and 16th.
Yes.
So
We're proud.
hopefully that's all, I believe.
I think that's all. Thank you so much, and we look forward to you on these committees. Thank you again.
Way to go.
And you'll see the interviews on our cable station. Ms. Neva Jenkins has been doing. Thank you again. Did we? I'm so excited. Okay.
No, we haven't.
Okay. Sorry. There was motion and roll call.
Oh, aye.
Aye. Trustee Brooks.
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen.
Both sides.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Austin Brown.
Aye.
Both sides. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Both sides, thank you. Bills payable? Here it is. Okay. Attached for your approval is the listings of the general operation expenses for the Lewis University Park that occurs on April 30th, 2018 through May 22nd, 2018. General funds, $196,118.67. Bridge, road and bridge funds, $11,173.98. Town center funds, $9,168.31. Capital project funds, $5,836.96. Payroll fund, $2,822.64, totaling $255,120.56. Is there a motion? So moved by trustee Brooks, second by trustee McMullen. Questions, concerns, comments? No one? No. All righty then. This is a good night. All right. Roll call.
Abstain.
Both sides.
Both sides to pay the bills.
Trustee Payton.
Both sides to pay the bill.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Mayor Cohen.
Both sides? Okay. And that's in my report tonight. A proclamation of the Lewis University Park, Cook County, Illinois, declaring the first Friday in June, which is June 1st, to be a National Gun Violence Awareness Day. And I'll have our officer, Trustee Brooks. You read that.
I read enough on.
Okay. Okay, Trustee Wilson. Share the love.
A proclamation of the Village of University Park, Cook Counties, Illinois, declaring the first Friday in June to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day. This proclamation declares the first Friday in June to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day in the Village of University Park to honor and remember all victims and survivors of gun violence and to declare that we as a country must do more to reduce gun violence. Whereas every day, 96 Americans are killed by gun violence, and on an average, there are nearly 13,000 gun homicides every year. And whereas Americans are 25 times more likely to be killed with guns than people in other developed countries. And whereas protecting public safety in the communities they serve is mayor's highest responsibility. And whereas support for the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from dangerous people. And whereas mayors and law enforcement officers know their communities best, are the most familiar with local criminal activity and how to address it, and are best positioned to understand how to keep their citizens safe. And whereas in January 2013, Hadiya Pendleton, a teenager who marched in President Obama's second inaugural parade and was tragically shot and killed just weeks later, should now be celebrating her 21st birthday. And whereas to help honor Hadiya and the 96 Americans whose lives are cut short and the countless survivors who are injured by shootings every day, a national coalition of organizations has designated June 1st, 2018, the first Friday in June, as the 4th National Gun Violence Awareness Day. And whereas the idea was inspired by a group of Hadiya's friends who asked their classmates to commemorate her life by wearing orange, they chose this color because hunters wear orange to announce themselves to other hunters when out in the woods, and orange is a color that symbolizes the value of human life. And whereas anyone can join this campaign by pledging to wear orange on June 1st, the first Friday in June 2018, to help raise awareness about gun violence. And whereas by wearing orange on June 1st, 2018, Americans will raise awareness about gun violence and honor the lives of gun violence victims and survivors. And whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our children safe. Now, therefore be it resolved that Mayor Vivian E. Covington of the Village of University Park, rural Cook County, Illinois, declares that Friday, the first Friday in June, June 1st, 2018, to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day. She encourages all citizens to support their local communities' efforts to prevent the tragic effects of gun violence and to honor and value human lives. Approved by Mayor Covington this 22nd day of May 2018.
Thank you. A few years ago in Washington, D.C., when I was attending African American Mayors Organization, President Obama assigned a few of us to this organization, and they already mailed me my orange pen, and it's a very, very sad effort, but we ask right now that everyone do wear orange. We are wearing orange for that day and for that purpose. And I'd appreciate it if the other people, everyone would understand that and respect it. And I also will be, one of our residents is doing a lot of work, and I have to salute her, Ms. Brenda Mitchell. She goes around state, local, national, talking about this topic. As a matter of fact, we will be speaking to her on our cable station about some of the things and the efforts that's happening, and she will be helping and supporting and doing lectures here in University Park as well. So thank you. At this time, I'd ask for reports on departments.
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Trustees. I just wanted to let you know, Mayor, Ms. Williams already told, but your signs that you picked out for Keep the Village Clean are here.
Very good.
We started putting them up Saturday, so I just want to let you know they are in, and we will be putting them out throughout the village.
Are there fines underneath it?
Yes, they are. It does say from $500 to $1,000 for a piece of paper.
Thank you.
All right.
Mayor Covington, Board of Trustees, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Just a few quick updates from the fire department. After hearing the report about the scholarships this evening, at the next meeting, I will have the final tally on all of the businesses in town that donated funds to the National Fire Safety Council, which is how we obtain most of our materials for fire prevention in October when we go visit the schools. So I'll have that for you at the next meeting. And then we are still working on several of the projects that I mentioned at the last one regarding the federal equipment cooperative that we're looking into. We completed registration for that program today. So as soon as we get the final clearance from the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, we're going to be visiting their websites and seeing what we can obtain equipment-wise and tool-wise at no cost to the village and the taxpayers. That's about it for this evening.
Thank you, sir.
Manager's
report.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Board of Trustees. We're delighted to sit here today to provide positive news. We're about winding down on getting the 2016 audit prepared to be done. We should be starting the audit sometime next week, so that is a positive thing. As you all saw today, Spirit Financial was here. You all just recently appointed them as municipal advisors. I think that's the best decision the board has made today in starting our road to rehabilitation financially, in ensuring that the village obtains financial independence. And I think that's very important. One thing being here, as a department head and now as a village manager, which I always saw was the board not being educated on the processes as far as our financial independence and what we need to go forward. The board always presented legislation without education behind it. That's why I think it's very vital and important to have a financial advisor or municipal advisor here to provide guidance to myself and the board alike. To have a municipal advisor here is not just at the privilege or pleasure of the manager, but the privilege and pleasure of the board and trustees and all staff working with finances in the village. I think that's very important. The village for a very long time has been kicking cans down the road as far as our financial issues. I think this year will be the first year that we're actually having a solid and significant plan in place and moving the village forward. And I think that's very essential. I think that's very paramount. for this endeavor. So the residents know, the police department did hire a full-time police officer about a month ago. They were informally sworn in because of the board meeting schedule. We will be having a formal swearing ceremony as soon as all the board of fire and police commissioners can come together in one central place. We are currently recruiting for one more full-time police officer, as well as we're recruiting for 2 part-time police officers, as our good trustee Brooks has requested us to do. So we're making progress and making sure we have officers on the street and more police protection. I personally will be wearing my public safety director hat and will be working the street with my staff on sporadic days during the summer to ensure that we have the proper staffing and coverage on the streets, as well as understanding the officers' needs and what needs to be done. I think that's very important. Public safety, in my opinion, has been neglected in this village for quite some time, not on any part of the board, we're just in generalized aspect of looking at safety in University Park and taking it for granted. And as you all know, last year was the bloodiest summer for the village of University Park with 4 homicides and 2 suicide-related deaths, which is unheard for in this community. And I think for me being at that time the chief of police, it rang very loudly to me that it's time to put public safety in the forefront, which is very important. Just for residents to know, if you go to theblueline.com, we're currently taking applications for full-time police and fire professionals, and pretty much we'll be looking for immediate hiring within the fire department due to some upcoming retirements in the fire department. So if you're a resident of University Park and you're interested in career law enforcement or fire EMS, I would say go on the Blue Line and please apply. If you guys do not apply, we cannot select you, and I think that's very important. Madam Mayor always puts an emphasis on hiring residents first, keeping our money within the community, and making sure we enhance our residents to be better. And I support that goal 100%, and we will continue to push that goal. But it takes us as a community coming together, pushing these jobs out here, and encouraging our young people to apply for these jobs. And I think that's very important. We will be having summer job postings for Public Works coming up, as well as seasonal job postings for Public Works. So there are a lot of opportunities. I will be looking for interns this summer to be working with me in the public work, in the village manager's office, as well as working with the mayor and various other offices within the village. I believe it's important that our youth know how government operates. If you know how government operates and you know how things go, I think it makes you better educated and able to make decisions as an adult. And I think that's very important. I appreciate every single person on the Board of Trustees because they all have a unique opinion and a unique background to bring to the village. I agree with the mayor that this board is working together indeed, and I do appreciate the dialogue that goes back and forth between the board and myself in regards to making various decisions. We may not always agree, but at least we can agree to disagree respectfully, and I can respectfully thank you all for that. I think that's very important and something that we did not see about over a year ago. Did not see that. So I think that's very important to display and say. The police department, we've been cracking down on illegal parking, so there are tickets out there. And unfortunately, when you look at ticketing, it does affect residents. That's one thing about law enforcement that we cannot avoid, is ticketing residents. So if you are ticketed and you do have violations, please comply, and those things won't happen. We will be starting to enforce various parking bans in industrial park in various areas, so be sure to know that. Myself, just a quick, really quick, myself and the mayor have been meeting with a lot of different organizations over the last month and a half to 2 months in regards to economic development opportunities. I do see a lot of economic development and growth within the village, and I think we are moving in the right direction, which I think is very important and essential. That ends my report, Mayor, because if I keep talking, I can talk for hours. Okay. And then
you got 3 minutes, right?
Yeah, 3 minutes, so I'm going to stop from where I'm at. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions for the village manager? I have one. There's been a lot of talk about insurances and that. How many people, I know that's been, and it was talked about at the finance committee meeting, and we discovered that we're paying a lot of insurance claims or insurance policies, and it's something that is unique that we do. We pay for 100% insurances for all of our retired people, and I understand that. The number was mentioned at the finance meeting was 7. What's the actual number? How many people are we paying?
And when I was at the finance committee, I gave an estimate of 10 to 15, and that number is actually 17. So I was
And it's
close.
cost running us about how much a year?
Well, insurance total, including the retirees and all our
Just
employees.
retired.
Well, when we do the
Just
breakdown,
Okay.
the total of insurance, including the 17 retirees and everybody else, is about $1.1 million a year.
And we're paying 100%.
Yeah, employees that are currently employed with the village pay their employee portion. Retirees do not pay anything for insurance as a benefit of retirement. And this policy has been in place for quite some time within the village, which is why we're currently working on revising our policy manuals and meeting with various groups to try to come to a common goal, a common consensus on the matter.
So when we are, I understand next door to a point, I really don't, but please understand that. Sometimes it's kind of rough, and I don't know any company that does that ever in this world, but we're trying to do the best we can. But when we have that policy for whatever reason, and we're paying 100% for people that retired, it's a little rough. So that really hits our budget as well. But that was something that was put in place. So if it's a little late, I think they have to try to find fundings for that. So I would ask that they have more patience with us. 'Cause I wish my job paid, but they don't. So I just wanted to know that. And also, knowing you and I went to the high school and you're going to do a SRO. Would you explain that to the public as well?
So currently, the school district, Board of Education has authorized University Park to get a school resource officer. So we're currently in the middle of negotiations of an intergovernmental agreement and potentially hiring an officer in time for the upcoming school season. That's based on the police department staffing, the fire police commission hiring personnel in an expedient manner, so we can hire additional officers to kind of backfill that position that will be dedicated to the middle school.
Right.
So just to be clear, that officer will be going to the middle school, be assigned to the middle school, but we floating between the middle school and Coretta Scott King based on as needed basis. So I think that's very important. We just had another school shooting this week.
In Texas.
And I think, in this day and age, as people may disagree with law enforcement being in schools and there may be mixed opinions, I'm one of the advocates of having law enforcement in the school. Number one, to prevent these things from happening, and number two, as an educational tool for children. I think our trustee Paula Wilson speaks on it. When I first got here, she beat me upside the head with the school-to-prison pipeline and, students being, targeted in the educational environment. My thought process on it is, I think police officers in schools